The secret to having more sex in your relationship? Stay tuned to find out. Hello and welcome back to my channel. As always, I am Matt from Cleveland Sex Therapy. I'm a licensed clinical therapist and certified sex therapist. Today, I wanted to let you all in on the secret to having more sex in your relationship. Can you guess what it could be? Well, let's find out. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the runners up as well as a few traps that you should avoid. First, knowing how your sexual desire works is key. Are you more spontaneous in nature or responsive? Meaning, does your desire turn on like the flip of a switch, or is it more context specific? Second, figuring out why you feel the need to have more sex can determine if it's even necessary. I can assume that if you're watching this video, you have probably hit a dry spell in your relationship. Talking to your partner and figuring out what feels realistic for frequency will set you both up for success. And third, broadening your sexual inventory allows for more novel experiences. If you have the same kind of sex each time, this could get boring and stale. But if we add in some new experiences, such as kinky fun, this may increase your desire to have more sex. When it comes to traps to desire that you should avoid, I want to spend some time busting a few myths that exist. First, avoid making constant requests from your partners. You may think, well, Matt, that doesn't make sense. If I don't ask for sex, how is it going to happen? And while I agree in theory, what happens when we frequently ask for sex is we can start experiencing more denial from our partners. And unless you feel immense security and a sense of your sexual selves, this can lead to an increase in shame. And then what usually follows from that is a sense of pressure and expectations that are being set. Second, avoid sex negative content. And I know this can be tricky to spot, but anything that tells you that you are failing because you're not having sex in your relationship, avoid it. Don't listen to it. These people, articles, podcasts are coming from this place of sex negativity that we're all trapped in. It is common, albeit expected, that you are going to experience at least one dry spell in your relationship. This is part of all relationships. We want to remember this and then focus on putting in the effort when it occurs. And finally, avoid feeling like you are entitled to sex in your relationship. This can definitely set you up for feelings of resentment. Although sex is a crucial part of relationship satisfaction, if we feel like we deserve it, then we're going to set ourselves up to fail. All right, hopefully by now you have realized that everything I have said has the ability to help increase frequency of sexual activity in your relationship. But if you really want one surefire way of increasing the frequency in your relationship, then you gotta schedule it. Now hear me out. I know many of you may be rolling your eyes, turning off this video and cursing me out, but let me convince you as to why scheduling is the number one way of increasing frequency of sex in your relationship. There are two main fears that people have when it comes to scheduling sex. One, they feel like it won't be spontaneous, and two, they're so worried that they won't be aroused when the time comes to have sex. And I get that. This all makes sense to me. But let me explain to you what it looks like in practice. Because you just aren't showing up to your bedroom at 7 p.m. on a Thursday night, staring blankly at each other thinking, okay, now what? If that is the case and that's what you think scheduling sex looks like, no wonder you hate scheduling it. Scheduling sex allows you to build the desire and arousal in your brain and your body. So let's say you do have sex scheduled for Thursday night at 7 p.m. A good rule of thumb to remember is that great sex starts outside of the bedroom. So if it's Monday or Tuesday, Start engaging with your partners. Start flirting with your partner through text messages if they're at work, or light touches throughout the day. Create that much needed anticipation that is so enjoyable. Research shows that the more we talk about sex, the more we want it. If you and your partner continue to tease each other, sending photos or flirty text messages, by the time the scheduled sex rolls around, you're gonna be so set. Also, to touch on the fear that it won't be spontaneous, what's stopping one or both of you from surprising your partner during the scheduled time? How about this? Make a rule that each of you will switch off surprising the other person with something exciting during the scheduled sex. That way we can combine the excitement of spontaneity with the scheduled intimacy. It's a win-win. When it is all said and done, there are many ways of increasing frequency. From trying new experiences to scheduling sex, just try to pay attention to your sexual energy and connection together. Just paying attention to the quality of sex that you're having will make you want to have more sex. Because if we focus too much on the frequency of activity, we're missing the main point of sex, which is pleasure. All right, that's all I got. What do you think about this? What is your number one way of increasing frequency of sex in your relationship? Comment down below. Until next time.